everyone. Hi, good morning, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna get started by sharing my screen and then we'll get rolling. So the basis of brand foundations, what you'll need, and also if you followed our previous Tech Thursday classes, you'll be able to see what we'll be referencing today. And if not, I'll of course be open to questions. So let's get started. So, oopsie, sorry. Branding. There you go. All right. So branding that sells for you. This is something that I always talk about with anybody I meet, agents that are new, agents who are rebranding, agents who are coming back and wanting to reshape their business. And I do want to say that you're going to start and then you might change your mind 6 months later, hopefully not sooner than that. But your brand is allowed to evolve as much as you are allowed to grow. And so let's get started on what we typically look out for when building the foundation. And you might be surprised, I've talked about this a lot, but we want to focus initially on what message we want our brand to convey. What is the first feeling you want people to think about when they encounter your brand, whether they see it online, whether they see it in a newsletter? Is it fun? Is it simple? Is it fresh? Is it, filled with a lot of maybe info in like resources and information? That can also determine what type of style you want to have for your brand, whether it's sharp edges and corners and things like that, or maybe it's more playful and rounded and fonts feel a little bit more vibrant. Text color feels a little bit more lively, so it's yellow. And that's what helps convey that message even further. So when someone sees your name, your listing, your social media profile, do they see it and it's like bright, or is it more luxury? So it's dark, bold, gold, silvers, black and white. That is important because those help tell your story as well. If you know branding well, um, you'll also you probably have researched how like the psychology of colors help convey different emotions. And that's important. So let's go on to more concrete information because there's going to be a lot to cover today. Starting with this and expanding into action steps and how you can actually search for that in your new Canva KW Enterprise account. So I want everybody to focus on that overall big picture. It's not just your logo, it's not just the colors. Yes, even your headshot has a lot to do with the way your messaging comes across. If you want a clean, sharp, luxury looking, feeling brand, I would go with a simple background. I wouldn't take my headshot out in nature, even though the leaves are beautiful at this time of the year. It's just simply not my color. It's not what I want to have for my brand. So I would opt in for something simple, something that is focused on my face, blank background, blues, blacks, whites, maybe not so much of the whites, but the light blues and grays are perfect backdrops for headshots because it's versatile. And fancy logos are great, but it does matter when you're trying to expand your logo. So choosing fonts that are thick enough to where it won't blend in with the rest of your flyers, that's important to think about. Um, Marketing materials, even your website. How does that website look and feel? Is it luxury or is it just straightforward? Here are the facts. Here are where you can search for homes, like our command website, simple, branded, uh, easy to navigate. Those are also important too. A clunky, clustered brand isn't easy to digest. And so that impression matters. The way you convey the design across all touch points matter. Your newsletter, the consistency with the colors, the typography, the different types of elements, they matter. So let's continue on to identifying the different layers that can bring about more intentionality behind your brand. So internal identity. I'm going to start with number one here on the left-hand side. This is who you are at your core, your values, your personality, your unique approach. This may seem very broad and not important when you're thinking about your brand, but it will later on if you establish that foundation right off the bat. And how you can do this and really nail that brand approach is by knowing your target audience, knowing what kind of messaging you want to consistently share. It's great to look at what other people are doing, but don't get fixated on what that is because you don't have to be perfect to start. You're going to eventually change, and I want people to be more open to that change as it does happen as your brand develops and grows. So having that starting point is great. But making sure that at least you're conveying what is unique to you will help that brand be sustainable, be recognizable. So the uniqueness of your brand also is determined by the way you show up, the messaging, the visuals. I think we've talked a lot about that already in the past few minutes, but if anybody has any questions or wants me to break down a certain topic, please let me know. Uh, your authority, the reputation, your testimonials, that is a part of your brand. So I want you to also think about what you're going to need to fulfill these goals. As I'm talking, I want you to also think about, okay, newsletters. Maybe I want to do newsletters. Maybe I want to talk a little bit more about my clients. Maybe I want to have testimonial templates ready to go. Maybe I want to have market flyers or market stats ready to go, ready to edit. Every month we send out market stats that are for every county, and those are super up to date information. There's a couple of slides there like days on market that people are really interested about. If you find your colors, nail those down, save that, and put it on your calendar at every 20th of the month to check back into your email to make sure you didn't miss those market stats. That'll help you push out accurate information on the market in a timely way. Important for people, important for your brand, building your authority and your reputation. So let's talk about that also when we get into Canva, because after I go through just the mindset where I want you guys to be focusing your energy on in the very beginning, and then we'll go into action steps. The brand reflection, think of 3 words that people use to describe you as an agent. What 3 words do you want people to think about when they think of you? Sharp, focused. What do you want them to think about when they see your content? Are they excited for the motivational quotes that you have to share? Whatever seems the most natural to you to share. I want you guys to write that down and just start brainstorming. Take a sheet and just start writing things that come to mind, and we'll organize that thought later. I do have a separate voice vault that I offer to everyone who's come to our social media classes because it makes sense to go into that. But the voice vault, if you take these words, all of the thoughts that you have from this class and throw them into a large language model, ChatGPT, whichever you're comfortable with, Poe. We also have access to um what's the other one for Microsoft through the office with your Keller Williams email. If you go to, which one is somebody help me, my brain is not remembering the other social media or the other AI app. That's not ChatGPT, that everybody also, Gemini, if people use Gemini, you get that for free with your KW email. All you have to do is be logged in on your Chrome browser. If you use Chrome, be logged in your email, open up a separate tab and look for that, and you'll be able to organize your thoughts. But this explorative part is something that comes through working with people on their brand and knowing that everybody's going to come back to these questions. What are the things that you do specifically? What is your competitive edge? What is the messaging behind your brand? How can we align what your brand messaging is to the way you show up? So defining your brand involves looking in deeper. What are your thoughts on your picture on your business card? I'm going to answer the questions real quick. Picture on your business card. The law of familiarity states that people need to see you 7 times or more before they're super before you are somebody that they even consider trusting. So having your photo on there is powerful. Some people think it's a little bit too much. They want them to just focus on the information, their name, their phone number, and their email, so they can contact them right away. And I think that's also important too. I haven't printed out business cards yet since I ran out. I've been using my digital business card. You also get access to a digital business card app through KW. But there's this one that I like because people often want to see something physical. So I got this, it's called the dot card. And I just hold it in my wallet on the back of my phone. If I want to pull it out, people can scan the QR code. It's nice and thick. I just put my sticker on there so that something, yeah, this one's cool. I really like it. And you can actually personalize it if you want to spend the extra to actually engrave your logo on it. I don't know if you have that one, but that one's fancy. I like that. So getting really clear on your target audience, whether you're serving luxury clients or if you're serving first-time home buyers, also allows you to think about those different assets and what they would serve for you. And I like the elegant look. So I would invest in some business cards that are from a company called moo.com. They also have a lot of different textures and different card stocks that you can use. Super nice, super elevated, super luxe. They also have gold foil on the name so that when you feel it, that's actually thick and the name stands out. So that luxurious feel has a strong effect on the way people interpret your brand as well. You can simply customize it on their website, or you can go to Canva. Signatures too, there's a difference. When you're seeing a signature that's a image that you can download from Canva, but there's also convenience behind being able to click on a link directly from your signature line. It's the efficiency, it's the simplicity, it's that luxurious feel. And that's a first impression that you want to set that standard initially when you meet people. So think about how you want to show up. Think about what would matter to the clients that you're working with. If it matters to them that they see something in hand, maybe it's for first-time home buyers, I would think that's something that they want to take home too. Pamphlets, things that they can read, things that they can write on. Those are important. Flyers. Digital versions of things are always ready and available. You can have that available easily with a click of a button. If you create the copy on Canva, There's a digital option. You can print it, you can download it, you can save it, you can email it, you can create a link out of it. You can even make a mini website out of that. So I don't want to go too far into those different ideas. Let's just focus on getting through these topics first. What do you stand for? Your core promise, your unique value proposition, those would be layered in your proposal, your listing presentation. Those would be layered in your signature line if it means so much to you to share that you build wealth and legacies for others. If that's your slogan, having that in your business card is powerful. What transformation do you deliver? People buy transformation. People buy strategy. So if you tell them you have that system that works, is tried and tested, they will see your vision. So put that everywhere. Start writing that out. Write it as simple as, what do I want to bring to others? How can I help others? How can I, what am I really good at? What do I really like? I love crunching numbers. I want to be able to deliver the most recent and up-to-date information to help my clients make informed decisions. And even take it a step further. Are they investors? My clients, are they first-time home buyers? My clients, are they living in the Bellevue area? Are they living in the Kirkland area? That's a part of your unique value proposition. That's a part of your why. That's a part of your brand. That's a core reason why I would put, the Seattle skyline behind my logo, because it conveys that message all through and through. What makes you different from other agents? What makes you unique? So I talked a little bit about this I help statement. So important, even at the highest level. Big companies resort to their why still to just make sure that they are in tune with their customer base. They're ahead. They are thinking, they're forward thinking, they're continuously appealing to their clients. And at the very beginning, when you're starting a business, you're thinking about your why. You're latching on to that reason that you're going to continue no matter what. So let's define what that is. Let's define your why. Maybe it's coming from a different industry, wanting to grow yourself, your skills, you're exploring, you're, redeveloping, you're redesigning, you're helping people relocate, you're helping people find their forever dream home, their dream story, whatever it is. I think you'll do a better job than I can. But it does help to have somebody kind of help, I guess, talk through that. So if you guys are ever interested to talk about visions, goals, how your branding will align with your brand, what elements should you include in your logo to make yours stand out even more, feel free to reach out to me. If you drop your name in the chat, I'll be sure to send a copy of this presentation. It's a link. I can send it through email really quickly. I actually created this on Gamma, and it was so quick. And I recorded the whole thing because I was just so invested after coming back from the AI summit and seeing all the different tools, made it look so easy to see somebody else do it and show me the end result rather than me going through it. So I then went on and made my presentation out of series of notes that I've kept and build up in my large language learning models, my ChatGPT. We'll talk a little bit more about how to organize your brand and your assets. But right now, we're building your brand as a business system. So you don't need more posts. You need to strategize your assets. You need to create content that is effortless because you've built out your templates, because you've laid out the foundation. So keeping all your brand and elements in one central document is so important for me I still refer to it on a regular basis. I have tons of different docs, PDFs, JPEGs, but keeping them in one place helps in the long run as you scale. So that matters too. As simple as having good organization makes a world of a difference to scaling. And so the first picture I have above is what organization started out for me. I had everything under one folder that said branding. Here's all of the information. What helped me take it a step further is to organize it in the way it is in picture 2. So the photo below is a branding kit. Influencer marketers, anyone. These are what you would normally see in pitch decks. The organization and the structure matter so much that it's easy for me to go back and refer to that color that I need. I can grab the exact number, which is the hex code of the color that's in my font. That organization helped me be successful and help others be successful as well. It's about referring back to all of these core foundations that help you improve business even further, believe it or not. And so we're going to talk about some of the things that you will need. And so in your asset library, I want you to focus on a couple of things. Your logo variation, if you do end up putting a logo together instead of using the KW logo. If you want to choose specific fonts, I recommend using sans fonts. Anything with sans at the end is really easy on the eyes. It helps your brain process the information quicker. If you see any scripted fonts, those are great secondary fonts. You want to organize a couple of your fonts. The first one being the main header, the second one being the secondary font, and then the third would be something you would use for body of the text or body of the flyer. And that's what you will use every single time in your posts, in your brands, in your flyers, in your everything. And signature line, if you can, use it there as well. Law familiarity goes deeper than just what you see. And if you're consistent enough, there's people will see you and recognize your branding simply by seeing that color and font combination. It registers in their head. If you're posting as much as you should, at least 10 times a month, I would recommend, that helps build that brand recognition at scale. So your voice and your messaging, I mentioned voice vault earlier, and in the voice vault, I in the voice vault, I have simple questions like, do you want to be conveyed more as a teacher or a friend or a leader or a, I forget what I had said, but in my voice vault, which I'll include in our email today because it's relevant to today's class, it's questions like that that help you think deeper, but it also helps the AI system that you're using, if you choose, to build a more concise messaging around your brand. It helps simplify your captions. Even if you outline, these are the words that I like to use. I like to use, hey friend. I like to use, hey bestie in my brand. That conveys a friendlier approach to your entire messaging. So if you have all of these items laid out, whether it's in a PDF file, whether you organized it all in a Word document and you set that aside, you could save it on your laptop and it'll sit there for when you need it, or you can add it into your ChatGPT projects. Now, write this down. If you guys have access to ChatGPT or you're more familiar with Gemini, you guys have access to the Gemini Pro, it's going to be super beneficial to save this all in a project file that you can refer to. It's like having that messaging be there to refer to every time you're using that same chat. So we'll talk about that in a different class I have lined up for next month. Again, I was so excited for our AI summit this past couple of, or a few days ago, that I have some cool information to share. So tell everybody if they're interested in learning about AI to check the Tech Thursday calendar on the BKCO Hub, as I'll be updating as much as I can with the information for the upcoming classes. Now, digital content, post, videos, reels with consistent tone, visual style, even going down to now I edit videos for people. I edit videos for my clients, and they often have a specific brand, color, font style, and I try to stay in that similar font. Sometimes when there are new trends or new fonts that are released, I use those too because it also helps build relevancy, because that's a longer story. If you want to stay as close to your brand main fonts, that definitely helps. And being consistent with one font on all your reels, on all your videos, really helps with a lot of familiarity and all the things that I've talked about so far. So physical touch points, so visuals across signs, flyers, open houses, and business cards. I'd write a note of those things that you need right away. You won't need open house signs because you have them available to you. But if you want to design one, at least you have your colors, your fonts, that you can use to create open house signs. Open house flyers, open house templates for social media posts, for your email, drip campaigns. Those you can create right away and use immediately. Business cards, you get those through the brokerage with signing on and filling in the link to questionnaire on your welcome email. There's a hyperlink that says link to Scott Leroy marketing questionnaire. If you fill that out, it'll order your first set of business cards. There's 100 nice, I think it's glossy, medium thick business cards, no photo, one color, one template, but it's free. And you get a cool name tag. I don't know where mine is. It's been 3 years. I need another one. And I'll probably go back to the agent store on the BKCO Hub to order my next name tag. There are a ton of different options when you go to that. If you want to create a different one and upload it, you could. Cost varies. So story amplification, telling one story so many times across your platform is really effective. If you've listened to Tony Robbins, you know that there's a few stories that he repeats over and over again. I attended a mortgage conference at UWM a few years back before I started at KW Side, and he was the keynote speaker. And I had already listened to a lot of his stories, but through watching YouTube videos and occasionally a motivational talk, will be a mix of his and somebody else's and whoever's quotes. But it made sense to hear that he took those stories that were true to him, true about his way of going about life, thinking, and all of that, to convey a similar message, but to a different audience. He made his stories mortgage related. I wish I would capture the whole thing, but I didn't. But having awareness of your story and being able to tell that story over and over again takes time, because it does feel weird. It feels like you've said it already in your email. You've made one post. Not everybody is watching that same post over and over again. So it helps to show up again, reminding people of your story through the messaging, through the branding, through your pitch deck, through your listing presentation, visuals, colors, and all of that. Creating your brand document. This is a summary of what we just talked about. And lastly, before we go into Canva Enterprise, I'll leave you with this. Your brand is a story people tell when you're not in the room. Make sure it's worth retelling. Whatever that is, if you're able to convey that story right away, if you're able to find that story of why you got into real estate, why you're so passionate about helping others, and tell it from the heart, you'll be closer than most people who are out on social media trying to build their brand with stationary templates because it's original. And that's a story for later. I do want to go into Canva so that we can get a couple of concrete things to take home today. So this will force me to switch gears and I'll hop right into the Zoom again and sharing my screen. I'm going to answer a couple questions in the chat. Emails, I love it. Thank you so much. I will send this over to you guys when I am done here. That is it. Yeah, that gives me goosebumps because I don't think I even tell my story enough, and I don't know how many times I can tell it, but it makes a difference when people understand, have experienced you, and then they apparently tell your story better than you can or ever have. And that happens if you ask. If you ask people, what's your experience working with me? So powerful to share. We know the power of testimonials, so don't need to go far into that. I'm going to share my screen here. Again, this is a recap of our last class. Sharing my screen on my KW email, KW Chrome account. So to check, top right-hand corner, sign in. That's my email. That's a KW domain, which means I get access to so many things. Third time's a charm. Oh my gosh, now I have to call Jordan. Well, if you go to canva.kw.com and you log in with your command login information, you'll be able to access what we call the Canva KW Enterprise account, which gives you access to using all of the pro features of the assets. And it also allows you to access the branding templates of KW. Okay. I'm gonna quickly grab my password from command, have it logged in a separate browser. And then I'll be right back on screen. Okay, I should have guessed. I could have guessed that. I could have guessed. You know when you realize you have so many different variations of one password? And you're like, I knew it, but that wasn't quite it. That wasn't quite it. So when you arrive at your KW Canva Enterprise account, you'll most likely see your recent projects. And my recent projects here, you'll probably remember them from the last class. We went over creating a for sale flyer, listing presentation. Yeah. Did somebody have a
Please, can you show again how you got into Canva through
yeah.
comment? Thank you.
So I actually went to canva.kw.com. Throw that into the chat. When I hit go, it's going to force me to log in, but that's the exact link that I need.
Perfect. Yes.
Sweet. Thank you, Sandra. Yes, it's me. Yes. Okay. Let's go back to the Canva. Okay, so I'm in Canva and I want to go into templates here to explore what is available in the world of Canva. A lot of the times these features will be locked if you're not paying for the pro account. You'll be able to see all of these templates, but this crown means this is a pro template, a pro account template. And you can see now that I'm hovering over, that if that box is coming up, it says this premium template is included with your Canva enterprise plan. Otherwise, if it wasn't a part of your enterprise plan, you wouldn't be able to download it. So if you're on a free account, you wouldn't be able to use all of these awesome flyers and different templates. So it's cool that we have that. So there's one way to discover different types of listing presentations. I'm gonna write this out here and we can fill it out together, but I'm thinking we're gonna need business cards. We're gonna need listing presentation, buyer presentation, open house. So open house flyer or open house post, I guess. Open house post template sold and pending. For me, I usually keep them as the same. Unless, well, I actually just change the text, keep everything pretty much the same, and maybe do something unique about the sold. Maybe change the color or like put in a little box around it. I'll have to explain with a better example, but let me pull up a open house template, post template. So what I mean by keeping it all the same but changing it is I'll find, so here's where my mind goes looking at all of these flyers. Immediately I'm seeing this looks super nice. I have a lot to work with. I can see the whole house in the back. I like that. The nice thin fonts are super luxe to me, and that is just I personally I like that. This kind of cursive is a little bit more on the playful side, not super assertive, not super, it's nice and it's fancy. I love it. Some people really love it that it's a part of their logo. So you'll see that a lot. I like this template here too because it gives me two options to add in photos. And also I can see really clearly that they've highlighted the features: bedroom, bath, living room, modern kitchen, contact us. I'm going more towards that type of look and feel, specifically for the open house, because I want it to stand out. If you're more leaning towards that luxurious, basic, minimal style, which is,
But you,
go ahead.
alright. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's okay. So if you're going more towards the minimalistic look, the type of style you would get on Luxury Presence website builder, or the Luxury Presence website building company, they often feature a lot of really nice, clean templates, and minimal templates are kind of the style right now that people like to see. So that works. This one's got obviously a different vibe to it due to the graphic elements in there. Not so much of a thing that I love personally. And so I'll pick one. I love this so much because, oh my gosh, it's a blend of both. The font is thick. I can read it from a quick glance. The picture on the back is dark. I like that style personally because it brings out the core features. That's where my artistic brain goes. I love this look. here where it breaks down, oh, I've got a bunch of different templates to work with just by clicking on that one that I really like the most. Now I'm seeing this kind of blends all of the different elements that I was talking about earlier. 3 different photos, one big hero photo, and you've got the time and location. And then they can find the details in the caption. I love that. I really love that. So now I'm seeing, okay, I'll show you guys a trick that I use almost all the time. I will have this open and I will open this on a new tab. I can click these 3 buttons. No, I can't. Customize template. I went over that button. Customize template. Clicked on the right side of my mouse. Clicked on that button and I opened up this template in a different tab. Why am I doing that? Because I'm eventually going to use all the different assets and elements of my graphic. I'm not just going to go for one. I'm actually really loving the font on this open house, but I'm loving the general look and feel of this open house down here. So I'm going to open this in a new tab 2. Clicked over it, went over to customize this template and opened this tab in a, or this graphic in a new tab. And then now I'm back. I'm going to pick one more to combine all of the elements that I love about 1 or 2 different flyers. Or maybe I'm just so set on what I have. Which one was that? I started on this, I opened it, and then I saw one more thing. I might actually use this for a why story post, a carousel with a quote. I don't know, but I think I'm going to use it later on. So I'm going to open this. I can either click on the 3 dots. Here's another way to open this easier. Click on the 3 dots, preview template. Now I'm at the customize template button, right click. You can also check the recording of this on the BKCO hub. I know there's a lot of steps already. But now we have all 3 open. I have 3 different ones. I can use that for open house. I can duplicate this and say, just listed. And then I can create one that says sold. This is too far out. It's not thick enough. Bad choice for a font for that information that's so crucial. People need to know. So I'm gonna bring that down or make it bigger. Just really make it mine. Oh, this is not a relevant because it's sold. So it's probably gonna be address. And then I'm gonna put some brackets around it so I remember when I'm referring back to this template that's the first thing I'll change. Description, not too fond about this. Oh, here's the address. I actually missed that. Okay, well I can use that or I can use it on top. If it's on top, I see it better. I'm gonna keep it there and then yeah, maybe put the, and all I'm doing here, if I'm moving a little bit too fast, you guys, I'm just clicking over the element. An element is text, photo. It could be shading. It could be different things about the post. There's different layers to this graphic itself. If I click on it, I can expand, move it around, change the text. My goal is right now is to copy this text in the middle and I want to make it this big font here. So I'm going to move things around. And that's a quick tutorial on some of the basics of editing this template. Now I'm going to move on to one more thing like I had mentioned, I really like this layout because it has a few different photos, but I love the font from the other one. So how do I bring it over? Well, I can just click on this text box that the sold text lives in, and then I can click Control C, Command C, copy, and paste. Now it's here. Oh, I so love it. It's just so much better. And my colors are pink. This wouldn't match. So, I mean, it could be red. And maybe if it's all capital, doesn't really look that great as I thought it would be. But yeah, I like that. So copying and pasting works well. I can copy this whole entire graphic and pull the elements from here into this. Now I have something so unique. I have something so unique. A cool font that a lot of people are using these days is a mix of the regular font and an italicized version of that same font. That's what this is. So this one's cool. I'd say sold sold in 3 days. That sounds even better than just sold. Got a message in the chat. Drop your emails. Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here, you guys. I really, really enjoy this, and I'm so excited to see what you guys create. If you can tag us, we'll share it. It helps if I see it being sent. So now I have a really cool open house pending. Oh, I like that. Cool. I actually really, really like that. And to make things a little bit easier for you, I'll start a couple of different projects here as well. We're looking for listing presentation. Drop your email in the chat if you haven't and you want a copy of today's presentation that I shared earlier. Listing presentation, you'll see that. Then there is a KW version of this, which makes it even more simpler. If you go to templates, if you go to brand, then you see brand templates. Now we're in the KW world of Canva, and you can search for modern listing presentation, and it'll pull up specifically the templates that align with the KW brand. So let me pull that up here. Listing presentation. As you can see, everything is black, white, and red. Yes, you're definitely compliant. If you use this as your door hanger, amazing. Listing presentation, prior presentation, flyers, market stat flyer, for sale, open house. What are you going to use it for? Are you going to implement this right away? If so, download it. Yes. Signature, a common one. Here's the KW signature. Very familiar. You find that in your designs. But if you go back to home and you search in templates from the home, then you'll have a lot of different signatures to utilize. This is some it's actually familiar. I think that's the one Janine uses. I love that signature font right there. Be hard for me to find it if I were going to look through all the different fonts. So having this shows me exactly what I can do. And you know, when you download this graphic, if you've seen Janine's emails, you'll see how it is. If you see my emails, you'll see it's a simple copy and paste. You can go and recreate that and copy and paste it into your signature line. Change the words, change the email, change the phone number. There's also a different website that I'll drop in the chat. I won't go through it right now, but Y-Stamp is something that I love to use because it has hyperlinks and buttons. So if you're tech savvy and you want to explore something super neat, that's the one I'd go with. This is a level even further of designing your logo. I just look Oh, I just actually discovered that button. That's really cool. Gonna say real estate. Okay. Retracing my steps back. We're in the home page. We went over and we clicked on templates, and now it opens up
Jessie,
this search. Yeah.
are you still sharing your screen? I
Yes.
cannot see. Okay.
Okay. You might have to toggle if you're going through and then there's a new button there. There's always a new button there. I'm gonna look up logo category, logo, style. I just stumble upon this by clicking, and now we have a bunch of different logos, a bunch of different elements that you can see that might relate particularly to your brand. Keys, to me, simple transformation. You could ask ChatGPT what they think. This, I love that. I love when the letters blend together to make a unique name. Let's look up minimalist. Oh, wow. This is a whole nother universe, you guys, and the tech is changing daily. So if you ever have any questions, okay, let me just share one more time. Is anybody having that same issue? I want to make sure that everybody gets the full experience. Now I'm going to share my
I can see your screen.
cam. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna reorganize, I think. Okay. I really like how they've organized the different logos because this is pretty new. Let's go in and take a deeper dive. Email signature. Got all the different email signatures for real estate agents, real estate broker. Oh my gosh, you guys, this just got even simpler than I thought. Instagram post, Facebook cover, animated logo, letterhead. A thing about letterhead, we have basically 2 seconds. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat before you go. Um, letterheads, letterheads are great. I'm experimenting with some drip campaigns right now, and I'm not really seeing any of the experts, Grant Cardone, sending out drip campaigns with a formal letterhead, which was a basic of like email marketing, like basic foundation. You want to have something there, like a banner. People can find you. If they're curious, if you give them the reason to be curious, they'll look and they'll research because all this information's out and available and they know that. And so have the body of your messaging be much more interesting than just that. And we talked about branding. 2 more minutes. I have a media kit. This is the one thing I spent a few hours building myself because I wasn't satisfied with what I saw. Now I can search for media kits. What is this media kit? It should organize some information about your brand. But I'm more looking for fonts, a place to have my branding fonts. Either way, you guys have been great. I hope you have a great rest of the day. And please email me your designs because I want to see. Let's geek out on some fun designs together. Thank you guys. I'll see you soon. JCNolan@benkini.com. Thank you for coming to Tech Thursday. Have a great one.